That's kind of the way that I've tried to approach it with WRP stuff, and certainly with Trinity as well. Like, I've kind of never done it for the money. It's like I'm doing it because I'm a bike rider. So I want a product that's going to be really good. But in saying that, I think that's where the most authentic stuff comes, because it's like, well, you're doing it for the right reasons then. But I think a lot of Europeans kind of take it for granted. It's just like, oh, it's just a race down the road and it's a World Cup. It's like, it'll always be there. I could do it next year. Whereas Aussies, desperation is probably the wrong word, but for lack of a better term, it creates a bit of desperation. It's like, if we're gonna do this thing, well, like the Chad Reed type of guys.
Yeah, it's all
like,
or nothing. You're burning the boats at some
you're
point.
just like, let's just send it.
I met a gypsy.
So, like, actually, before we go back, go down to the comments. Let's see what, like, people...
Oh, man, I haven't read any of the comments, to be honest with you. I don't
like,
read like comments.
Damn, these mushrooms are kicking in.
This is the first time I've read this.
But that's good that you don't read the comments. Sick drivetrain, love all the new stuff people are making. That exposed cassette looks deadly.
It definitely looks deadly, yeah.
What else we got? 10 out of 10 would allow to eat my pant leg.
Wait, some people should be awarded for the articulation and some of this
I agree.
stuff.
Like, there's some internet comedians that,
they're funny.
You should have a job making people laugh.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, so that's more pictures of it.
Yeah. So that's how it worked. But again, it was like, I actually welcome the Pink Bike comments because, again, I whacked this together and just put it out there. But, so the one to go up a bit, sorry. Okay, so that's second from the top. Like, it's come a little bit from
cassette in a can.
It's come a little bit from here.
Yeah.
But this is essentially what I've got at the moment. Actually, I've got a part for you. No, I've never even given a part away from Gearbox. But this is a 3D printed titanium little bridge.
Oh wow!
So you can have that.
Sick.
You can use it a paperweight or something.
Yeah.
But I saw it lying in the.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's this 3D printed?
Out of titanium, yeah.
You can 3D print titanium?
Yeah. We
What
got
the
a
fuck?
3D printer.
Dude, I've actually got some bike part ideas I'd like your help with.
Anytime, yeah.
Okay, I've got some bits that I think I need as a shit motocross rider that would enhance my experience of riding.
Yeah.
So keep going, sorry.
So that part there is like a bridge that goes across and it spaces between the two like black side plates just so they can't flex in.
Yeah. So that top sort of like similar to that top one there.
Yeah, similar to the top one. So this is like, it's come a little bit since this, but this is essentially what we're working with now. So it's, it's got nothing exposed, I guess you could say, like to eat your pant leg, as what's his name said. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a bit bigger than a sort of commercially available gearbox, which is essentially just a mini moto gearbox. Like, it's literally cogs meshing inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is essentially what Honda did, but a little bit different. So this is a cassette.
So you can get around those rules. You
get around those rules.
Cones.
Yeah. And the other thing with this is a little bit different to the Honda. So what Honda had was they literally had a derailleur in there, whereas this doesn't have any derailleur. It's got, so you've got chainring, and then all you've got is a tensioner.
Yeah.
And then you got your cassette. And what's actually derailing when you change gears is the cassette's moving up and down axially in front of it. So your chain line's always straight.
Yeah.
Whereas the Honda, the chain line was straight, but the whole chain moved up and down axially. So, it's proven to be pretty good. I've been riding it for 6 months.
Yeah. And so what are some of the problems that you think this gearbox has solved over other gearboxes?
Okay, yeah. So over other gearboxes it'll be a bit lighter because it hasn't got like solid gears in there that need to mesh with one another. One of the biggest ones is like efficiency.
Yeah.
Again, because you don't have those meshing gears, you've literally got the standard drivetrain just moved to the middle. With that is really just stock components. Like everything that you see in there, like anything that the chain is touching is dead stock. So stock tensioners, stock cassette, stock chainring. Like I've made like the custom casing for it, but everything's stock because like I don't want to Like, I'm only a small company. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to screw.
be going into getting manufacturing and all that shit.
Because
no.
like, you look at the R&D that SRAM and Shimano have put into like their drivetrain.
Definitely.
Like, it's all like, a lot of it's AI too. Like, actually working out like where the shifting ramps should all be to get it. It's very, very intelligent, man. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. Like, because even other big companies like E13 or whoever, like, who are having a crack at the drivetrain, they just cannot compete with SRAM or Shimano. I'm like, well, I just want to leave that shit alone.
So me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to leave that alone, but reconfigure it in a way that, to me, it should be. I mean, compared to a normal drivetrain, there's heaps of advantages. So, like, your sprung mass is drastically less.
Okay.
Sorry, your unsprung mass.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're moving everything from be normally located at your rear wheel to the sprung mass of the frame.
Yeah.
So, like, that, like, I can't explain how much of a difference that makes.
Really?
Dude, it's huge.
Even just for a derailleur. Well, I suppose derailleur cassette.
Yeah. It's fairly weighty, really. And then the other thing is the dynamics of that weight. So you imagine, so you've got your derailleur that's hanging off a hanger.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, when that derailleur slaps or takes up tension, it's not moving concentric to anything on the swing arm.
It's
like,
doing its own thing.
It's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you feel like the rear end's out of control, is because it's slapping around, not concentric to the actual swing arm.
There's like an external force that's
Yeah.
acting on your rear wheel.
Exactly.
Swing arm, essentially. Okay, yeah.
So that's a huge thing. Like, and like, off on a bit of a tangent, like, that's where people, like, when you feel feedback through your pedals, whether you gearbox or not, whatever, a lot of that is because of the chain slapping, because like your anti-squat and all that is just like derived from like the tangent angle that your chain wraps around each cog.
Yeah.
And if you're chain slapping and it's now arriving at your cogs on different angles, it's going to change the way like your pedal feedback.
The
and all
feedback
that
you get through your feet. Yeah.
Where is that? So yeah, your unsprung mass is one thing. The tensioner now is off the mainframe, like off the sprung member. So the tensioner is right there in front of the pedal, like it's between the output cog and your crank.
Yeah.
So it's tensioned off the mainframe. So ride dynamics are just totally different.
Yeah. And then it'd be lower the center of gravity
Yeah.
of the bike, like it'd pull everything in and sort of drop it down
it's
as
right,
well.
right between your feet. And like, say for instance, like that output cog, that's exactly 165 mil from your bottom bracket, and
Yep.
I've got 165 mil cranks. So it's like, depending on which foot orientation you are, but you're always like, it's right in the middle of your feet.
That's insane.
Yeah, there's a bit to it.
There's so much going on there, right? It's unreal.
It's stuff like, there's a lot of stuff like that I've honestly just forgotten. I've
Yeah.
just been like, you do it, you calculate it out,
Yeah.
you make it, and then just kind of walk away.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty nuts.
And so for the average guy, like let's say the customers are starting to get these, like,
Yeah.
does the servicing of like you're not having to tune your derailleur as much, like the chances of it hitting a rock now is zero, like the servicing, the cleaning, like everything.
Yeah, for sure. So this isn't currently available yet. Like, this gearbox isn't currently available. Like, I'm still just ironing everything out. It's kind of funny, man. Like, I'll have to decide when the time is right, because, I mean, you could just keep prototyping forever.
Well, yeah.
Because like, there's like 3 stages of this where I want to get it to, and at the moment I'm only finished stage 1. The other stages have been done, but there's still like prototyping.
Yeah.
But at some stage, I'm just going to have to pull the trigger and allow
definitely.
people to buy it.
Fucking send it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, in theory, I mean, like, I've been riding it for the last 6 months. Like, it's had some prototyping issues that I've had to just iron out. Like, I stripped some splines like off the crank connector, which was just dumb because I didn't have a preload collar on it, stuff like that. But essentially, like, once the small bugs are kind of ironed out like that, is essentially, it should be a lot less maintenance than a derailleur hanging off your rear wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, that design is just so ridiculous.
It's archaic, man.
Yeah.
It's archaic. And it's like, not shitting on it. It's like shitting on it. Like, it's served us well, but it's like, I find it a little bit, from an engineering standpoint, I find it a little bit frustrating that, like, I don't know, so much R&D money is going into that stuff, but the fundamental architecture is just wrong. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of just feels like you're beating your head against the wall watching that happening, because it's like you can put as much R&D into that as you want, but it's
still
fundamentally
just a
flawed.
shit design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And particularly when there's no regulation, it's like you guys don't have to keep doing this.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.